There's no such thing as doing good in a KGB warehouse. There's no such thing as he's doing good. And I said, why now do you specifically say he's doing good? What's your criteria? And she said he's not depressed anymore. He wants to get up and go to school. The school would be the source of that. But the fact that he was dejected for so long and dropped out, and that he's happy this first week, he's motivated. It's been a week and a half and he's still going. He gets up and goes every day for the first week and a half. This is a weak case. And so the door's open for him. I told him, no more, no more nonsense at school. I said, we can get your education done in 4 or 5 hours a day. None of the nonsense they're doing. And he lives here in the same little town. So we'll see about that. But these people who see the disaster being caused by the schools believe very, very firmly, it's almost a religious belief, that the schools are a place where kids learn to get along in society or something like that. And nothing's further from the truth. You don't teach a kid table manners putting him at a table with 6-year-olds. He learns table manners from adults. And you don't teach him social skills by putting him in a prison with 1,000 other screaming apes and monkeys. And that is what the public schools are. I went to them, I know. So don't anybody tell me that I'm derogating my fellow students. My fellow students aren't watching, so they can't be derogated. They were apes and monkeys, and most of the kids in those public schools are. Not by their own fault, and that's the tragedy of the situation. It is by the fault, or the default, of the teachers, which is by the default of philosophers. So fine, we're dealing with a philosophical question. If we want to go that deep, Ayn Rand answered the philosophical question. Leonard Peikoff has exposed on it, and I am now carrying out his marching orders, if you will, something like that. Well, as much as Karl Marx gave marching orders for communism, and John Locke gave marching orders for capitalism, and Leonard Peikoff gave marching orders for rational education, but he couldn't have done it without Ayn Rand. So there we are. I'm more distressed than ever about the state of education in the schools. Sending a second grader home with this arcane stuff for lexicographers, and I don't know, I might even have that word wrong, lexicographers maybe, and he's got to learn these bizarre notations that I don't even know and don't think there's a use for unless you're into the specialized field. They start mathematics out this way, unfortunately. As I showed in reading, they start reading out this way with stands still. It's one thing to throw the kid a repeated word once in a while to get them to be able to recognize the whole word quicker and easier, but to throw alliteration at them when they don't even know how to pronounce things easily is cruel and sick. And their parents really honestly believe they're doing a good thing by sending them to the public schools. They really believe it deep in their bosom. And when they're offered a chance at private school, they're scared by it because the kid would turn into a congenital retard without other kids around him. Wouldn't he? Right? Wouldn't he lead it? Well, I mean, what's the threshold? 2 or 3 other kids is not enough. Is that true? And then, what do you need? 15? 30? 1,000? What's enough? Where do you draw the line? At what stage do you say a small school is enough? You know what? This is not a rational argument, even if we grant some credence to it at that level. My point would be, look, we get the kid from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and after that he can go play soccer, which we do not play at school. They can do it during recess, but it's not a subject. There's no PE. He can do piano lessons because there is no music at school. He can do swimming or tennis. He can do chess, lots of other things, and some of these might be somehow connected with the school, affiliated with the school in some way, but not part of the curriculum. Not part of the curriculum. The kid gets no credit towards his diploma, towards graduating from my type of school. for running around and kicking a ball. None. And that's the difference between me and the public schools. Now, if you focus on that for these 6 hours a day, tell me honestly, is this kid going to be a social retard if he has from 3 o'clock till 9 at bedtime every night? 9 to 3 is ours. 3 till 9, he plays with his friends. Why? Well, wait a minute. What about his homework? We teach them good enough they don't need homework. That's the goal. That's the idea. That's what they do at Van Damme Academy. No homework. If the kid goes to school for 6 hours and then comes home and does homework for 2 or 3, what is this? What is this? Or for half an hour? Or for 10 minutes? If it's such little busy work, what's really the point of it? To get the parents involved? Maybe there's other ways to get the parents involved while the kid goes and plays. Really have some respect for their childhood already. So that would be my counter-argument there. Even if you could give the argument that they need interaction with other kids, I'm just going to tell you, let him go interact with other kids after 3 p.m. He's not going to really interact with other kids much at school. He's going to be listening to the teacher or doing his work or doing one of the puzzles or games that are available for him to concentrate on to adapt his mind. He can play with the other kids at recess, but that's not an argument about why education institutions are socialization institutions. You know, so it's bizarre, but it's something that's so foreign. It's like telling people selfishness is good and socialization at the schools is bad. They just can't even, get their brains around it. They need a lot of background information. That might be a tough sell, but I'm selling it. I've got my soapbox out, and I'm making speeches